Shalom, I am Rebekah Yahshua, and I am here to discuss the leadership masteries of Rabbi Yahshua. So, who is Yahshua? Yahshua was the greatest rabbi of all time. His recorded ministry was very short, only 70 weeks. He changed the course of history and brought hope to a very dark world. He effectively accomplished his mission while battling the religious leaders of the day and caring for thousands of clamoring fans. In addition, Yahshua effectively trained a ragamuffin team to carry the good news to the lost tribes of Israel. Laurie Beth Jones, in her book, CEO Jesus, writes that Rabbi Yahshua was a cultural phenomenon who caused spiritual and political upheaval everywhere he went, and who changed people's lives every time he opened his mouth. Yahshua was born on Tishri 15 in the year 3998. He was born into the house of Judah during the Feast of Sukkot. He was a Jew, his audiences and his Talmudim were primarily Jews. His name literally means Yahovah saves. His actions, his teachings, the pronouncements made from heaven, and the eyewitness accounts all testify that he literally was the son of Yahovah. Yahshua was an amazing leader. He inspired a shared vision of bringing hope to the exiled Israelites, and he modeled how he wanted that done. He enabled his Talmudim to act upon his commands with his authority, and he encouraged the hearts of those who followed him. He was a personality that changed the social and the religious norms of the day. Yahshua died on Passover in the year 4028 as the Pesach lamb, but he didn't stay in the grave. He resurrected 3 days and 3 nights later, just like he promised. His resurrection literally changed the face of forever. So what made Yahshua such a great leader? In the Leadership Lessons of Jesus, a timeless model for today's leaders, Bob Reiner and Ray Pritchard write, the difference between management and leadership is chiefly in the way those being managed or led are motivated. In Jesus' CEO, Laurie Beth Jones determined that Yahshua had 3 categories of strength that made him a great leader. Number 1, the strength of self-mastery. Number 2, the strength of action. And number 3, the strength of relationships. So let's explore just a few of Yahshua's visionary leadership masteries. In our book, they say that before you can be a leader of others, you need to know clearly who you are and what your core values are. Once you know that, then you can give those values a voice. Mastery of the art of leadership comes from mastery of the self, they also say. Well, Yahshua modeled the way as seen through his strength of self-mastery. He centered himself every day. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Yahshua got up, left the house, and went out to a solitary place where he prayed. Laurie Beth Jones writes that Yahshua kept in constant contact with his boss. Proof of this is recorded all over the Brit Hadashah. Yahshua had a routine of taking care of his heart by spending time with his Father. This filled him up so that he could give to others. It gave him passion and strength and focus to do that day's work. Oprah said that your connection to that which is greater than yourself is the thing that fuels what you do. Yahshua's morning ritual helped him remember what him and his Father valued most. I believe this practice was the key to Yahshua's great success. He was very, very clear about his mission. He said, "Do not think that I have come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill." He knew exactly what he came to do. Korvig, in Lessons in Leadership Development from the Master Student in Journal of Applied Christian Leadership, says that Yahshua was a mature leader because he was able to achieve a balance between caring for the good of the community and his own very personal calling. Oprah talked about the fact that everyone has a calling. She said that your job is to figure out what your purpose is and then to align your abilities with that. Laurie Beth Jones writes that one of the things that made Yahshua such a great leader was that he stuck to his mission. Yahshua knew that he had come to be the Pesach sacrifice and that the future of the entire universe rested upon his fulfilling his mission. He had to stay focused and clear. It wasn't time for him yet to establish his kingdom and rid the Jews of Roman rule. Nothing made Yahshua stray off course. Even in the wilderness, exhausted and hungry, the devil himself could not get Yahshua to take him up on a few seemingly profitable business opportunities. Yahshua was extremely clear about his mission. This made him a great leader. Leaders not only have to be willing to test bold ideas and take calculated risks, but they also have to get others to join them on these adventures in uncertainty. So if we look at the category of strength of action, Yeshua took action and he required it of other people as well. It is written that Yeshua went into the temple of Yehovah and cast out those who sold and bought in the temple. He overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold the doves. John Eldridge says that Yeshua had fierce intention. So Laurie Beth Jones writes that Yeshua did not mumble or whisper his message. He was bold. He crashed into people's consciousness with deeds, attitudes, and actions that had never been done, seen, or even heard before. He called a spade and apologized to no one, not out of arrogance, but out of boldness and clarity. Leadership is not about who you are, it's about what you do. Yes, Yeshua was the son of Yehovah, but the general public did not count him credible because of that claim. People followed him based on what he did. He was visible. It is written that Yeshua went around to all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. About Yeshua, Yohanan says that the Word was made flesh and walked among us. Our book says that being visible makes you more real, more genuine, more approachable, and more human. Yeshua was Yehovah in skin. About face-to-face encounters, our book says that the power and long-lasting effect of direct interaction can hardly be replaced by other means of communication. In his video, The Next Generation Leadership, Brian Jenkins stressed that leaders must be visible. We must use social media to stay visible to our constituents. Yeshua didn't go hide in a closet until the appointed time. He was visible to the public and to the paparazzi. He modeled the way and enabled others to act by being visibly available to his constituents. Leaders are expected to have a point of view about the future and to articulate exciting possibilities. Constituents want to be confident that their leaders know where they are going. Yeshua knew where he was going. He knew what the future held if he accomplished his mission. He inspired a shared vision for the future and encouraged the heart, as seen through his strength of relationships. So Yeshua inspired a shared vision. It is written that Yeshua saw Kepha and Andrew casting a net into the sea. They were fishermen, and Yeshua called out to them and said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." People don't really want to picture only the leader's vision, that they want to see how their own visions and aspirations will come true, how their hopes and dreams will be fulfilled. Yeshua inspired a few fishermen to become part of his Talmud Dean by linking his goal of fishing to men to their love for fishing for fish. Yeshua promised that they would be more successful in this kind of fishing than they had been in the other kind of fishing. Laurie Beth Jones writes that Yeshua gave them a vision of something larger, and that he clearly and consistently conveyed to his staff the significance of what they were doing. She continues to say that he spoke long and often about the calling, and they could feel and see the long-lasting benefits of their work with him. Like the law of legacy says in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, I conclude that Yeshua was intentional about leaving his legacy within the hearts of his Talmudim, a legacy that empowered them to accomplish a shared mission well after he was gone. Yeshua acknowledged and beheld people. It is written that Yeshua beheld the man, and looking at him, loved him. Jones writes that focus is one of the key attributes of a leader, and nowhere is it more powerful when applied to and on behalf of another human being. Yeshua built relationships. He beheld those he served. He actually looked at them. He saw into their eyes and into their souls. Laurie Beth Jones contends that Yeshua constantly praised his staff members and told them, "Well done." As the book teaches, an exemplary leader will use intrinsic rewards. Yeshua taught that a job well done was going to get acknowledged someday. If not here, then definitely in the future. Don Solomon from Regent University, in his doctoral project abstract, concludes that Yahshua was a superior example of leadership. I would say he was a transformational leader. Our book concludes by saying that the key to leadership success is to stay in love. I conclude that the key to Yahshua's success was that he embodied and felt Papa's passionate and deep love for Israel all the way to Pesach. Yohanan writes, having loved his own who were in the world, he now showed them the full extent of his love. I want to be a leader like Rabbi Yahshua. I am Rebekah bat Yehovah, and thank you for watching my little flick about my favorite leader, Rabbi Yahshua.